It's been said, including in this series, that war never changes, but unfortunately, it seems neither does the incompetence of how badly a launch can be bungled and how reputation can be impacted. Hello, and much as I did with Battlefield 5 a couple years back, here, now that I've had a chance to play it a bit more extensively since the mess that was the beta, here's my video on Battlefield 2042, but it's on PlayStation Plus. And before I get into the meat of this one, the announcement caused the player counts of the other entry to jump, it also caused there's a fair amount of people who played the last game, 5, initially, to again look back on it with like the Thanos meme. Perhaps it treated you too harshly, because there's a lot of changes made, like being multiplayer only title being sold at list price of up to including $70. Makes me very glad I did not pay that. I mean, even with EA Play, you only save about $7. Like, wow, I could buy lunch for that. And it seems that even with the improvements, there's still a lot of bugs at which ones I encountered thus far included debris floating midair, parachuting enemies that fly upward when they're shot without their chute, spawning right in enemy fire, shadow of the weapon displaying without the weapon clipping avatar in the ground, enemy AI ranging from special forces to a bloated security guard, shrapnel flying downhill at 5 frames per second, invisible guns at spawn, low poly ally models, Battlefield 64 slash PlayStation looks great, fellas, shot not loading properly, tank armaments not loading properly, tanks spawning through the environment, and invisible operators on each MAS screen. I mean, heck, at least the worst thing that happened was like in this one, which almost at the same time, was that they had to fix some of the doors, how they functioned. Mm-hmm. That said, they have made some improvements since then, even though there is still room for improvement given the ones just mentioned. Also, want to emphasize I'm not a huge Battlefield fan, and per se, hey, in fact, I tend to play. The future tend to play to me more science fiction oriented than this. I didn't even have an issue with a near future or setting on paper. And part of me was hoping that this could rectify some of the disappointments that were others had with the series when it came out. At launch, however, as has been established, that hope was completely dashed. May not have been my least favorite game of 2021, but it was at least in the top 10, or bottom 10 as one would have it. And they only just now brought back the class system, as I recall, and replaced it with the specialist operators, and also usual trappings of life service titles. I mean, capturing objectives, check. Securing payloads, yup. And a cash shop, which is the only thing that seems to work right at launch. It still sold quite well at launch, second only to Battlefield 3 in terms of launch sales, but it still was met the dreaded below expectations and has caused EA and DICE to really think the direction of the series once again. And if I may offer a recommendation, and I have a couple one. One, back to basics would definitely be alright. It's definitely effective in other cases like COD. Two, wouldn't mind a third installment in the Bad Company spin-off series, which is my personal favorite installments, which tend to be more comedic than serious. I mean, if you want to try and bring back like the fun to this kind of aspect, maybe that might be a better venue for it. Yeah. Anyway, I was planning to address this as a different game for this one, but as you might imagine, the time change has been harder than I thought, and I think this could be the last time I have to springboard, so to speak, in the States. So, but thankfully, I have another game in mind for tomorrow, which should be much better to talk about. In fact, you might say its fusion of ideas is one of the all-time greats. That'll be all for now. Take care, everyone.